His name was Bowman.
The guy was an ice cube.
Mason, Woods and Bowman were both killed. Your entire SOC team wiped out. Only you survived, Mason. You. No one else.
That's yours now, Will.
What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight what I have for you guys is a very interesting video. We're going to be recapping everything that's happened with Pawn Takes Pawn, and we're going to be breaking down the new live action and launch trailers of the game, as well as new details that just surfaced a couple of hours ago. Definitely stay tuned, but before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, because about 70% of you that watch my videos aren't subscribed. So make sure you guys are getting notifications every time I update you on Black Ops Cold War. But hopefully you remember when Ice Cube was featured in the Black Ops 1 campaign in the form of Joseph Bowman. Since a couple of days ago on Pawn Takes Pawn, it was revealed that the mysteriously hooded character is actually William Bowman, his son, who's out for revenge, considering that he didn't get to grow up with his father since Joseph Bowman was unfortunately killed in action by the Viet Cong in the campaign mission Payback. You'll see footage of that mission on screen in case you guys don't remember, but the Pawn Takes Pawn hunt continued earlier today with a bit of a recap as to everything that's happened thus far with the Pawn Takes Pawn story. I actually re-uploaded it here on my channel since I thought that it was really well put together. I'll have it linked down below. It was only about 2 minutes long, but perfectly conveyed everything we've done and how it's impacted the story. That was great, but because they dropped that recap, I was assuming that today was the big day, the end of this Pawn Takes Pawn Easter egg hunt, some type of big reveal, maybe a trailer, maybe a Warzone event. I was expecting something, but we ended up getting an Easter egg hunt that lasted about 5 minutes, since Call of Duty accidentally made a mistake and revealed the answers to the hunt, which led us to a new page that tells us to come back tomorrow for the next step. We'll talk more about how I feel about waiting 24 hours later on in the video, but what's cool about the Easter egg hunt today is that we did get a new live action trailer which revealed William Bowman interrogating a mysterious character. This mysterious character ended up revealing himself to be Bruce Harris, who's actually a character that we thought died in the campaign mission WMD from the Black Ops 1 campaign. Now, I'm not sure how he survived a fall like this, as you're about to see, but somehow he walked away from that. I'm sure we'll get an explanation later on, but maybe the theory is true, which I saw brought up by my good buddy The Gaming Revolution. He said that maybe an individual was brainwashed into thinking that he's Bruce Harris, similar to how Mason was brainwashed extensively to the point where he believed that he was Reznov. That seems to be a reoccurring theme with this upcoming campaign, so maybe that's what's going on, but then again, there are achievements pointing towards us returning to Mount Yemendao in Black Ops Cold War. Maybe that's when we'll get an explanation as to how Bruce Harris survived, if that's the case. But within this live action trailer, it's also revealed that William Bowman is really trying to track down Perseus, since as you guys know, it was revealed that Dragovich was working for Perseus back during the Cold War, and Perseus was the one that instructed Dragovich to turn up the heat in Vietnam. Obviously, the US Army responded, sent Bowman, Mason, and Woods to Vietnam, which is of course where Bowman is then killed by the Viet Cong. So William holds Perseus personally responsible for getting his father killed, which of course makes sense, but for whatever reason, William thinks that this character in the chair, Bruce Harris, so to speak, is Perseus. I'm not sure why, but we'll end up hearing about this soon. Now, what's interesting about this as well is that we heard rumors quite some time ago that parts of Black Ops Cold War take place in the present, and we're not sure how that's going to work yet, but maybe they were talking about Pawn Takes Pawn, since it's kind of clear that William Bowman is grown up, possibly in the late 2000s, maybe even later, but I don't think it's 2020 when this is going on, but this could be at some point way after the Cold War. But then again, Bruce Harris doesn't look that old either in this live action trailer, so who knows when Pawn takes place, but it definitely has to be at least 20 to 30 years after Black Ops Cold War. That's just my assumption right now, so we'll see how it works out, but we could be getting some flashbacks to some point in the future within Black Ops Cold War that we just don't know much about as of now. I also saw a funny tweet talking about how this Pawn Takes Pawn marketing could end up being slightly irrelevant when the game does drop, because back during Black Ops 3, there was a lot of marketing surrounding Dr. Salim. Now, we didn't end up seeing Dr. Salim more than like 5 minutes in the Black Ops 3 campaign, then he gets killed. So what if we don't end up seeing William Bowman for more than a couple minutes in Black Ops Cold War through a couple of cutscenes or even intel? What if it ends up being a bit of a side story that doesn't really impact the main events of Black Ops Cold War, that would be a bit underwhelming, but I'm hopeful that whatever this is a part of the marketing for the new Warzone experience as we transition into Black Ops Cold War in just 2 weeks. Now, another thing too is that with Pawn Takes Pawn, as I said over on Twitter, I defended it when it began with the reveal of Black Ops Cold War, right? For that first week where they were using it to actually reveal the game, I was fine with it. It was something different, and I was willing to give it a chance. I understand that the reveal of the game got delayed. That's why we didn't get Pawn Takes Pawn until August. I fully understood that, but now it just feels like that joke that was funny for the first 5 minutes, but then people kept repeating it, and now it's not funny anymore. That's how I feel about this. A lot of people feel the same way. I mean, hopefully the hunt actually ends tomorrow and isn't extended for another couple of days or even a week. That's just my hope right now, but a theory is that maybe this is leading up to a big Warzone event, which could be next week, and then when the Warzone event happens, it's kind of like the end of Fortnite Chapter 1, where something happens, a nuke goes off, and then boom, that's it. You know, a blank screen, you can't play Verdansk anymore, and then a new Warzone map ends up dropping. That's possible. What if they end up dropping a new Warzone map, such as that Alcatraz that was rumored, before Black Ops Cold War even releases, just so they don't conflict with the amount of hype and where the player base is going to be on day one with campaign, multiplayer, zombies. Maybe they'll do the Warzone update a little bit in advance. We honestly don't know. It's always possible, but I love how they're going back to the roots of Black Ops 1, tying up all loose ends, and also taking anything that wasn't followed up on and fully fleshing that out in the Black Ops Cold War campaign. It's absolutely fantastic, makes me even more excited for the campaign, and I can't wait to play it. But when it comes to Pawn Takes Pawn, here's some constructive criticism. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody who's enjoying Pawn Takes Pawn. I'm not trying to take away your enjoyment of it. If you're enjoying Zork and the other minigames, that's great, but a lot of people are over it. I think Pawn Takes Pawn has had its run, and it's to the point where it's a bit of a cock tease. When you hype up an Easter egg hunt, it lasts 5 minutes, and then the next step is locked for 24 hours. It's not really enjoyable, and it's essentially the same thing every time, where the same 1 or 2 people that know how to solve these puzzles go live, it gets them exposure, which is fine and all, but then all of us are just sitting back, maybe with streams up, just watching other people, not knowing what's really going on. Then for a majority of the community, at the very end of it all, nobody really understands what even happened, right? Nobody knows what the puzzles were, how they even got solved. Everybody's just like, oh, was there a new trailer? Were there some new screenshots? Nobody really gets the point of it all at the end of the day. That's kind of how the community has been, but I do understand it's something optional for the community. They're not going to just not market the game if you don't solve the Pawn Takes Pawn stuff, but it's just a bit dragged on, and hopefully tomorrow's the end of it. We'll just have to wait and see, but the thing with it as well is that Pawn Takes Pawn could be used for years on end. They'll probably end up continue using the site for other hunts later on this year, maybe even for Modern Warfare 2 next year, since we know Black Ops and Modern Warfare are fully connected now and crossed over because of Warzone. Let's just see how they utilize the site in the future. Hopefully they change things up a bit and give us a timeline as to when this Easter egg hunt is going to end, but I'm okay with what they did today, which is provide us with a badass reward for finishing the Easter egg, which was the live action trailer. It was fantastic, huge fan of stuff like that, but I'm just not a fan of when we finish the Easter egg hunt, we get nothing for it. A lot of people are confused as to what even happened, then we have to come back the next day for potentially the same thing. Hopefully they don't do that anymore, but when it comes to the launch trailer for Black Ops Cold War, it dropped about a day and a half ago, had some new scenes in there. We got a shot of Woods and Adler executing somebody, wonder what's going on there. We got some new shots of the Red Door, some brainwashing, more manipulation, even a shot of Mason's face, which resembles the cutscene style that we had back in Black Ops 1, which I'm a big fan of, so I hope that that style comes back in its full glory with the Black Ops Cold War cutscenes. I'm assuming that it will, and we also get a bit of a vibe that you're gonna end up believing that you're somebody that you aren't, or believing that events occurred when they actually didn't. So with all the endings that are in mind with the achievement list we saw, it does seem like we're gonna have a lot of choices in this campaign, so it's gonna make content that much more special for this upcoming season. Cannot wait to cover it here on my channel. And we also got this other trailer, which I can't really explain too much, but ended up accidentally surfacing on a foreign Call of Duty Facebook page. It is real, and it does showcase a submarine of some sort. It's kind of this viral marketing trailer. It's live action as well. We're not really sure what it means, but rumors have it that maybe this is going to be the end result of this new Pawn Takes Pawn hunt. Something to do with a submarine on Verdansk. That's always possible. This could be tied into this transition to Black Ops Cold War's Warzone. Maybe that's what's going on here. but the fact that this is a trailer and hasn't really been published by other Call of Duty pages is a bit sus to me. I'm not sure what the deal is with it or what it even means, but I'm sure we'll end up finding out in the next few days when this pawn takes pawn hunt ends up finishing. But we also got confirmation that Black Ops 3 Zombies Chronicle Edition will be free with PS Plus. And there's a new benefit to PS Plus with the PlayStation 5, which provides a full library of fantastic PS4 games. So if you guys didn't actually play Black Ops 3 or Zombies Chronicles, you can get it for free with PS Plus. Definitely a steal, a lot of value in there, and apparently Black Ops 3 Zombies Chronicles will support the PS5 game boost with improved loading times and stable frame rates. It's not going to have much of an enhancement with the graphics. I mean, Black Ops 3 looks beautiful anyway as it is, but is going to run very smoothly on your PS5 console, which is fantastic. The embargo also lifted on PS5 unboxings as well as Xbox Series X unboxings, so expect a ton of videos in your sub box from all types of creators who got their hands on the consoles early. I'll be getting my PS5 delivered on launch day to prepare for the hectic launch of Black Ops Cold War just a day later. But now when it comes to some interesting information that just surfaced like half an hour ago or so, there was a Reddit post made by The Flying Puppy 1, and it does say how Nuketown is going to be in Black Ops Cold War, extremely mild spoilers. Now honestly, you probably already heard this already, since this information is coming from Prestige is Key, the GOAT himself. As the Reddit post says, after the initial reveal event, Activision apparently reached out to a few YouTubers and gave them an exclusive look at a new campaign mission. As per Prestige, one of the missions takes place in a Soviet training facility, that big industrial building we see Frank walk up to through the forest. We see this in the trailer. The real kicker is the training facility is actually a one-to-one remake of an American suburb where the Russian soldiers train for the possibility of American invasion. And come on, where have we seen a one-to-one remake of an American suburb? Just as this person says in the Reddit post, it's of course Nuketown. So he goes on to say that the mission ends up with Frank Woods and his team fighting through the suburb build, which sets the stage for an American and Russian side to this Nuketown. Now, that's probably the best way to bring Nuketown back, besides just bringing the Black Ops 1 version of Nuketown, which I think does deserve a proper remaster in its true form, right? Just classical Nuketown. We've only seen a remaster of it in Call of Duty Mobile, and it looks beautiful, but since Black Ops Cold War takes place during the same era as Black Ops 1, bringing back just the classic Nuketown, to me, works fine. I mean, we already saw a Cold War Nuketown literally in Black Ops 4, so they can't do that again. How do you go kind of outside of the box with it? I think this is probably the best route, you know? See it in campaign, have this nice storyline behind it, be like a mix of American and Russian. I think that sounds cool, but there you have it. What is the closest to official information from a Call of Duty partner? And if I had to take a guess, I'm gonna say Nuketown probably won't be available at launch, or I'm sure they would have already revealed it by now. They could just surprise us and drop a teaser trailer for it as of next week, right before release, but it might be like Black Ops 4 where the map doesn't end up dropping until one of the first post-launch updates in around a month. But last and definitely not least, we had other information that was somehow creeping its way onto the internet while the slow-paced pawn takes pawn Easter egg hunt was taking place. It's ironic. You had a slow hunt going on where everybody was focused in on, then you had a bunch of other info that was rapidly just flooring through the internet, whether it was Twitter, Reddit. I'm not going to talk too much in detail about it to avoid getting in trouble, but Charlie Intel wrote an article about it. All of the kill streaks popped up for Black Ops Cold War. People were excited the VSAT's coming back. People were also scratching their heads wondering where the dogs are at. Who knows, but let Treyarch officially announce the kill streaks in the next week or so. I'm still expecting a big blog post talking about how the progression system is going to work in Warzone. I'm sure they'll end up revealing that once this Warzone event finally takes place. But it's also, like I said yesterday, right? It's unfortunate that there is a double standard here on YouTube where smaller creators like myself can't even talk about something, right? There are a lot of things out there right now on the internet, which millions of people have seen, that don't really contain many spoilers, but they're quote-unquote leaks, and I can't do that. I'm not at liberty to do so. Yet, Call of Duty partners and journalists on their payroll are able to talk about it all day. They can put the information in their thumbnails on screen, and they get away with it. It's something that, as a Call of Duty YouTuber, I have to get used to, unfortunately. But also, like I said in yesterday's video, talking about Black Ops Cold War Zombies, I'll be taking legal action against anybody who falsely and illegally copyright strikes my content, because I don't show copyrighted material on screen in my videos. I just give my thoughts on things that are already public. So that video you guys hopefully saw yesterday will be back up on my channel in no time, I can promise you that. But that is about it. This has been DK Dynamite. Leave all your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you think about the new Pawn Take Spawn marketing? What are you expecting tomorrow? And what are your thoughts on the new live action trailers that we also got? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everyone.